and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me here again. I've had a little bit of time off over the last couple of weeks. I've been traveling a bit, so I wanted to jump straight back in and give you a nice beginner-friendly topic to dive into, and that's around the essentials with support and resistance, your key levels. Now, these are things that people learn pretty much straight away. It's one of the first things people learn when it comes to technical analysis with trading, but it's things that people take for granted, and I don't think they fully explore as much as they could. Something like support and resistance, if used right, can be even the only type of analysis that you use and still get a pretty good success rate overall. However, a lot of people don't use it properly and they end up falling into mistakes. You guys know as well, by the way, little disclaimer, I always recommend having 2, 3, 4 different confluences, not just to use support and resistance on its own. It's a great confluence. It's actually the foundation of every single trade that I actually place. And it's extremely useful if you know how to use it properly. So I'm going to dive into it today, and I'm going to show you the fundamentals, and I'm also going to show you some of the secrets and how to really wield this properly yourself, and how to actually identify support and resistance for yourself, because otherwise it can get very messy. You can see my screen right now. This is actually using my Jets indicator. This is a free indicator that I give everyone inside my community, and it kind of declutters a lot of the noise so that you don't really have to do the heavy lifting. You know, the indicator is going to find the support and resistance for you, and you can obviously change the threshold for everything on the settings as well. I'm going to remove this now, but if you do want this indicator, don't forget you can drop my team a message if you check the description, and you'll get it completely for free. So anyway, let me just turn this off. So, what is support and resistance? Well, guys, support and resistance are your key levels. They're places on the chart, on your on the market, where price will respond to historically, and that means that if it reaches a point and then reverses, is it going to reach there again? And there's different levels of significance. There's different time frames you can use. If you check back through one of my other trainings, you're going to be able to find a training on the top-down analysis, which is like the big zoomed out picture, and then the zoom in where you can find all of the significant key levels. But I'm talking the day-to-day trading. I'm talking like, okay, I've just jumped in on a 1 minute chart. How can I find the support and resistance where it's actually going to matter and it's actually going to be relevant for me? So a good way that you can identify it straight off the bat is when you have something like this. We see rejections that all mark up the same point. Okay, so you can see price has responded here, it's responded here, it's responded here, and responded here. This is an area of interest. This is a level of resistance. So another thing to bear in mind, when price is coming from underneath and it reaches the top, it reaches that ceiling, that's a resistance. The same at the bottom right here, we have this area of support. This is resistance, this is support. It's a very good way to remember it. So support is the floor, resistance is the ceiling. Now, this is the main way that people identify support and resistance, and that's through just seeing different rejections, multiple rejections at one particular point. However, it can also be when there's a rejection after a big rally, like a swing high or a swing low, and then you see a big rejection, and that will mark it out. So you can see right here, we have this big rally right here. Gold has rallied all the way up, and we've reached this little point right here. So even though we don't have anything prior here to base it on, it hasn't reached this point anytime recently, so we don't really know that that's resistance. So we'd miss out on this one, but when it rejects at this point right here, that tells us that this is now a very significant level, because we've seen this huge rally, we've seen the swing high, and now we've rejected at this point. And you can see that actually it does stay very true to itself. So let me just show you something very important as well. So when I mark up support and resistance, I tend to use a line, but actually support is not just one level. It's not just a flat line. It's actually an area. So it's a key area, not a key level. And it would be a lot more sensible actually to mark it up like this. If we get our box tool, this would actually qualify as an area of resistance / support right here. So it's not just a flat line, it's this entire area. So we've had this big swing high, we've rejected to this point right here, price has come back down, you can see we've responded again. Price has broken through, and we've responded now as a support level as well, again and again here. So this is really just to demonstrate that there's not just one way to measure your support and resistance, it's actually multiple. So we're seeing not just the multiple tests on one level like we do here, but also when we get a big rally up and we get a test, it now indicates that that's the start of a new support level or resistance level as well. So let's take another example. You can see where it's responded to this level right here and we've come back down. You can see we now have an area of support. So let's actually mark this out all the way along here. And remember guys, it's not a level, it's actually an area. So we can see it's come down, it's responded to this level now, all along here. So we're consolidating across this area of support and resistance. And then we've broken through again, we've come down here, and again, we've responded to this area. We've come down again, we've responded to this area, we've responded to this area, we've responded to this area. So how can we actually use this? It's because we know that when things enter a certain area like this, or enter a certain area like this, we know that we have a heightened probability of the trade actually reversing. And you can see on these ones here, we either could have traded this consolidation and got some decent pips out of it, or we could have waited for it to actually break through and then waited for it to come back up and retest and then taken a big move down here, or a big move down here, or this big move down here. So it's actually very, very reliable. And like I said before, a lot of the time you can actually base a trade off of support and resistance alone. I'm going to show you another way right now how you can use this when you're actually in a trend. So what we can see right here is a huge rally up by gold. Now, what did I tell you guys? When we're looking at a big rally up, a swing high, we want to see where it reaches that ceiling and it stops actually moving. And if we actually look very closely, we can take our line tool, because I want to be able to show you it all, and we mark where price has stopped. So price stopped right here, so we mark that one up. Price then stopped right here, we'll mark that one up. Price also stopped right here, and we'll mark this one up. Now you can see, as price is moving up, we've stopped. This is a huge rally, all green. We've stopped, we mark it up. We wait for a breakthrough again, and we wait for a stop, we mark that one up. Price comes down, tests that resistance, that previous resistance as support right here, and then we see a big move up. So this would have been your entry. Again, we break through. Actually, it was this one right here as well. This is a stop because we started seeing red candles. We see a big break up or a breakthrough of this previous resistance. Comes back, we reach a point, we mark it up, come back down, test it as support. Break through again, might make a new resistance. We mark it up, we come back down, we test the previous resistance as support, and we go up. So you can see by using this formula, we've got 1, 2, 3 potential quite big trades there as well. And of course, if you got in on this first one and you're hedging as you go, or you're scalping as you go, and you're moving your stops up and you're practicing good risk management, you could be getting all of this entire movement as well. And this is support and resistance. Now guys, this is how you would measure support and resistance in real time. This is how you're doing it to actually be relevant for your trades. Now, you might take a really big look back and you might think, which I recommend to do, like here for example, and you might be looking, oh, okay, I'm gonna measure this, I'm gonna mark this one up right now. It might not be completely relevant for where you are right now. We can have a little look, we can see if it is, but no, it's not completely relevant. So what you want to be doing if you want to find ones that are further back is going on the higher time frames. I'm not going to jump into that right now because I did a training on that recently, and that is on my top-down analysis training, which you can check out for yourself by visiting my page on YouTube. And yeah, so I'm just trying to make sure that you don't spend too much time, because especially with something like scalping, it's a very, very reactive, it's a very quick thing. You know, you might not have all the time in the world to be actually, you know, doing all this analysis. So you want to keep things relatively tight. You want to make sure that you're in a good position where you can jump straight in, do a quick bish bash bosh, and know exactly where the support and resistance is that is relevant. If we're trading on a 1 minute chart, you're not going to have 10 minutes to go and do a full top down analysis. So we want to make things relative to where we are right now. Otherwise your chart is going to get way too confusing. It's going to become a little bit too overwhelming for you, and you're going to lose out on time, and you're going to miss opportunities. So guys, let's put this into practice. Let me show you a little bit of my own strategy and some of the different confluences and the different things that I would personally use when using support and resistance on a trade. This is a great example right here. So first of all, what we're going to do, we're going to mark up our support and resistance levels. Now, like I said, we have this beautiful support, beautiful resistance level right here. So we're going to mark that up. That is a clear area of resistance. We've had 3 rejections from this limit right here. Couldn't get any better than that. That's also something called a triple top, and that is a chart pattern that you can look for when actually entering trades yourself. Now there's loads and loads and loads of these. I've got a training on this as well, which you should watch. But yeah, essentially this is a triple top. It's where price has tried to break through a resistance 3 times, and it's been rejected every single time. We can also mark out a support level as well. We can also mark out our support level as well, and that's what we've got right here. We've got a nice area of support right here on this one, and we've also got a nice area of support on this one right here. So we're going to mark these out as well. It's a little bit messy, guys, so I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that I really hit home that it is an area, not just a limit. So next, what have we got? We can look at the actual candles themselves. We can see every time that price is trying to break through, we have these doji candles, these small candles where it's basically just a wick and a line going through. This shows a lot of indecision in the market. It shows that the market is trying to change direction and it's just waiting for the right time. So now we've got our support, we've got our resistance, we've got a chart pattern, a triple top, and we've got a candlestick pattern here. We have our dojis and also big engulfing candles. So what's the next thing? Let's use an indicator. Let's use two indicators. So as you can see, I've got my two EMAs on right here. Actually, I've got an EMA and an SMA. I've got an EMA at 30 close here, and I've got an SMA on 9 close right here if you want to load this up for yourself. And this is what it will give us right here. Now, what we want to do is we want to wait for the candles to be firmly above or below both of them lines, both of them moving averages. Now you can see right here, when we're in this big uptrend, all the candles are well above both of the moving averages. And that's what we want to see. That's telling us that things are going to continue to move up. Right here, it's all a little bit mashed in. Here, it's a little bit mashed in. Here, it's a little bit mashed in. So what do? We wait for it to be firmly below both. And that's exactly what we've got here. So again, support and resistance, triple top. We've got candlestick patterns. We've got dojis and we've got big engulfing candles. Then we see a big move down right here, and we can see all of the candles are firmly below both moving averages. Then you can put on a really fancy indicator like my one. This is my tailored jets indicator right here. And if you want this for free as well as the support and resistance indicator, all you got to do is check the description, message my team, and they'll get you this completely for free. This is a real done for you indicator, and it basically just gives you a short or a buy signal when you're going long or when you're going short. Shouldn't be used just on its own. It's got a very good success rate just on its own, but using this with other confluences is of course like a great idea. So now we've got the short indication right here. We would enter the trade around this point right here. We want to make sure that we are entering. We want to make sure that our stop loss is above the previous area of resistance. So we'll go short. We'd have entered on this candle right here after it finished forming. So we would want to make sure that we are above there, and we'd want to make sure next, we can use a really fancy indicator like my tailored jets indicator. This is a real done for you indicator. It's exclusive to my group. Again, if you want to get hold of this, you can check it out by checking out the bio below, the description below. You can message my team. They're going to hook you up with this indicator completely for free, guys. And this is how it looks. You can obviously change and tailor it how you like, but essentially it's a done for you indicator. It gives you the short and entry signals when you're supposed to be going, the short and long signals when you're supposed to be going short or long. And as you can see right here, it has given us a nice short signal right here. So what have we got so far? Let's go for it again. We've got our support level. We've got a triple top. We've got a triple rejection basically on this. We've got our candlestick pattern. We've got our dojis and engulfing candles. We are below the EMA here all the way. We've crossed over below the EMA, and we could have got in right here. But if we wanted to play it extra safe, we could also use my jets indicator as well as a nice short signal. So we've got 5 very solid confluences there. We would have entered after this candle, and we would have taken it all the way down here potentially. I mean, this is personally where I would have taken this. So it's a solid 40 pips. Because this is our previous area of support right here. So this is where we want to be aiming for, around this level right here. But of course, you could have ridden this the whole way down if you are scalping, if you're actually moving up your stops as you actually move. And yeah, you can see a really solid trade. So support and resistance in its most basic form. Is it going to work? Yes. Is it going to work every time? Maybe not. It's not going to need fine tuning. But if you take elements from my strategy and you add them all together, you are going to get a really, really solid trade every single time. You're going to get, I don't want to speak too soon, but you're probably going to get around 80% success rate, something like that. So it's very, very solid. So guys, that's it in a nutshell. Support and resistance. This is how you find it in real time. This is how you measure it up. These are the different elements that you check when you're actually finding it, especially after like a big rally. The different confluences that you look for, whether it's candlestick patterns, chart patterns, indicators, anything else. These are obviously things that I've taken from my own strategy, which you can use for yourself. If you like this video, please like, comment, share. Tell me what I could have done better. Tell me some elements from your own strategy as well. If you liked any of the indicators that you saw here as well, you can get them completely for free, guys. It is free inside my community, which is also free as well. And it's a great place where you can connect, meet, grow, share with other like-minded traders, learn every single day. I also place one of my own trade ideas in there every single day, completely for free. You'd be mad to miss it. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this explains things a little bit better around support and resistance. Try it out for yourself. Let me know how you got on. Cheers, guys.